Well, good morning, everyone. Can I start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we gather and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. And can I say Jingari, which I learnt from the Commonwealth Games. Can I acknowledge Minister Sterling Hinchcliffe, our wonderful Minister for Tourism, Innovation and Sport, and Minister assisting me on the Olympics and Paralympics sport and engagement. Wonderful to have our Assistant Minister here as well, Michael Healy, all the way down from Cairns. Can I acknowledge Elsa Delicio, Brett Fraser? Can I acknowledge Leanne Coddington as the outgoing CEO of TEQ? And can I welcome each and every one of you here for this very important event? And I'm told over 900 people here, so that's absolutely fabulous, because I know how important this industry is to each and every one of you. Well, it's great to be back on the Gold Coast and great to be here at DestinationQ. A couple of weeks ago, I was here for the opening of the new Langham Hotel, part of the much anticipated Jewel development. Reflecting in the Jewel is a city buzzing with opportunity. As I said that night, this is a city that can host the Commonwealth Games 1 minute and then be absolutely part of the Olympic and Paralympic Games events the next. From the TV Week Logie Awards, the Gold Coast Marathon, to just last weekend, the Gold Coast 500, and then of course there's schoolies coming up. It's a place Australia has always come to party, but also too where the world now comes to invest. And this morning I was back at the Langham Hotel with the Tourism Minister and Assistant Minister, with tourism investors as part of DestinationQ to showcase just how great this city is. And I think I reflect on, I said there's a new sophistication here on the Gold Coast, and there absolutely is. And I think that sophistication is spreading right across the state. It's incredibly important as in part of our post-COVID recovery as we look towards 2032. I want to thank every one of you in this room for your resilience over the past couple of years, some of the most difficult and challenging this industry has ever faced. But we stood shoulder to shoulder with you. We delivered more than $1.1 billion in support to our state's tourism, events and hospitality industries. We helped fill more than 3,500 gaps in the tourism and hospitality industries from our Work in Paradise program, and through, importantly, our $200 million Attracting Aviation Investment Fund, we boosted traveller confidence by increasing aviation routes, securing several new routes for Queensland, including Jetstar, Scoot, Air Canada and United Airlines flights between Tokyo and the Gold Coast, Singapore and the Gold Coast, Haneda and Brisbane, Vancouver and Brisbane, and San Francisco and Brisbane, which arrived to much fanfare over the weekend. We've also welcomed back important return routes, including Los Angeles to Brisbane, Qantas, Singapore to Brisbane, Singapore Airlines, Auckland to Cairns and Auckland to the Gold Coast, Air New Zealand. All of this support and with your help steered us through where we are today. And I think I speak for everyone in this room when I say, isn't it great to see people travelling again? While we can't expect to return to our pre-COVID success overnight, we are well and truly on the way. Our tourism sector has now grown to over $16.8 billion, almost 60% of the industry's pre-COVID contribution to our economy. In the year to June, Queensland celebrated record domestic overnight visitor expenditure. In total, domestic tourists spent $19.6 billion, up 1.1% compared to the pre-COVID period. And our share of domestic tourism spend tops the nation at 28.5%. That's 3% and 10% higher than New South Wales and Victoria, respectively. And I'm advised that the 6 Queensland regions had record-breaking overnight visitor expenditure, including tropical North Queensland, Sunshine Coast, Southern Great Barrier Reef, Whitsundays, Southern Queensland Country and Fraser Coast. In the June quarter, we also saw a spike in international visitors to Queensland. Through this period, our state outperformed the national average for travellers from the United Kingdom, the United States and Singapore. And there's more good news to come. Since it was launched in August, our Seize the Days campaign has driven more than 200,000 visitors to Queensland.com, sending more than 50,000 leads to industry. We expect this campaign will bring in $6.7 million visitors, spending $4.4 billion. And with new tourism offerings like this year, the Langham, the Wonder Reef dive attraction on the Gold Coast, the Crocodile Hunter Lodge and Cabins on the Sunshine Coast, the new Reef Magic Pontoon in far north Queensland, the Strait Experience, tours to the Torres Strait, the Rockhampton Museum of Art, the pavilions at Hayman Island Whitsundays, the Gari Salty Safaris, and the Harvey Bay Drive Centre overnight expedition. Visitors can expect even more when they come here, and that's not even all of them. I'm pleased to say that under the new leadership of our new CEO, Patricia O'Callaghan, Tourism and Events Queensland will aim to deliver bigger and better campaigns to support Queensland's rich tourism experiences in the new year. And please join me in congratulating Trish on her new role. I also want to acknowledge and pay my respect to the outgoing CEO, Leanne Coddington, finishing up next month after 25 years. Leanne, you have been everywhere. You have been a source of inspiration and you have done amazing things for tourism and events in this state. Can you please acknowledge Leanne Coddington? While we're focused on the short term and getting visitors back as quickly as possible, we're also now focused on the long term. The next decade to 2032 is going to be a defining time in Queensland's history. With 10 years to go until we step out on the global stage for the biggest show in the world, Brisbane 2032, I like to refer to it as Queensland as well. We must be ready to showcase our state, our destinations, our unique experiences and services to the world. And just for a moment, think of that Olympic torch going right through the length and breadth of Queensland and how we have this enormous opportunity to showcase so many parts of our great state to the world. So today I'm launching Towards Tourism 2032, our 10-year tourism strategy which will transform our tourism sector and set us up to make the most of what being an Olympics and Paralympics host nation will bring. This is our response to the Towards 2032 Final Action Plan released in June, and I want to thank the Independent Tourism Industry Reference Panel for their work on that. I also want to thank you all here today for your input. The panel spoke directly with industry from small businesses, regional organisations and thought leaders to come up with 75 recommendations that would change the game for our state's visitor economy. Today's plan is an outcome of that and a framework for government and industry to drive visitor economy growth over the next 10 years, starting from today. It also outlines an aspirational growth target in the decade ahead, increasing to $44 billion in overnight visitor expenditure by 2032. Just think about that for a moment, $44 billion. Tourism Minister Sterling Hinchcliffe will share more about the Towards Tourism 2032 with the panel chair Liz Savage later. But part of this strategy is making sure Queensland is a destination for everyone, including people of all abilities. A Tourism Research Australia survey prior to COVID found that 23% of people with a disability thought of travel as so stressful it's just not worth it. And that should not be the case. Instead of being stressed, they should feel welcomed, accommodated and supported. That's why today I'm proud to announce that 2023 will be declared the Year of Accessible Tourism in Queensland. And as a state, we've previously celebrated the Year of Outback Tourism and the Year of Indigenous Tourism. These campaigns triggered major interest and investment, particularly in regional Queensland. We hope to repeat that success again. As part of this new campaign, our government will deliver $12 million worth of programs to help our tourism industry become more adaptable and responsive. A $10 million Accessible Tourism Queensland Fund to help small and medium tourism businesses to enhance accessibility through technology and infrastructure. $1 million will be dedicated to an awareness and capability program, including funding to stage accessible tourism events and support for employees with a disability. A further $1 million will be spent on promoting Queensland as a state with exceptional and accessible tourism experiences. We will champion those tourism operators who cater for travellers of all abilities, and will partner with industry to help travellers with a disability to develop itineraries. We've already got a head start with the launch of an Accessible Tourism in Queensland project last year, delivered in consultation with Queensland Tourism Industry Council and relevant regional tourism organisations. As part of the project, tourism infrastructure accessibility and tourism business capability was assessed in 6 Queensland tourism destinations: Brisbane and surrounds, Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, Hervey Bay and Fraser Coast, Townsville and the Outback, and Cairns and surrounding region. Assessments and suitable itineraries are due later this year. In further good news, under the Year of Accessible Tourism, we will further extend the project to another 6 tourism regions. So if you live in these regions, you can benefit as well: Bundaberg, Capricorn, Gladstone, Mackay, Southern Queensland and the Whitsundays. The project has been led by specialist travel agency Travability and Australian-owned disability enterprise Get Skilled Access, founded by 2022 Australian of the Year Dylan Alcott. You'll be hearing from Dylan's brother Zach, who is a senior engagement consultant at Get Skilled Access, later as part of this program. Friends, can I just say how excited we all should be about the lead up to the Olympics and Paralympic Games. These games will elevate Queensland as a must-see global destination. And I just say to you, just think back to Barcelona. Barcelona was put on the international stage, and this Olympics and Paralympic Games in 2032 has the exact same ability to absolutely propel this state into the international spotlight and cement our place on the world stage for tourism for not many years to come, but for the decades to come. It will deliver an international tourism and trade worth an estimated $4.6 billion for our state. 41,000 rooms have already been secured to host Games partners during Brisbane 2032. And we know about 8,000 Paralympians and officials are also expected to attend the Games. So in conclusion, can I thank each and every one of you for the amazing work that you do and the resilience that each and every one of you have shown during what I think were 2 years where our whole world was turned upside down. You all stepped up and we got through it. And now what we're seeing is Queensland with such a strong economy, with the lowest unemployment rate that we have seen in our state, but recognising still that there are labour shortages and that we need to work with you, work with industry, work with the federal government, work with councils to overcome those obstacles. But I know that our future is secure and our future is bright. And you should be absolutely pleased and proud to live in a state that values everything that you do. Queensland, our best days are ahead of us, and tourism has such a bright future. So thank you everyone, enjoy the next couple of days, and it's been a pleasure to open your conference here today. Thank you.